8 times smaller than Tahiti, Moorea has a surface area of 13,000 hectares and a unique landscape in Polynesia. The island began as a volcano, the summit of which collapsed. This left a vast caldera to the north, engulfed by the sea, from which emerged Mount Rotui, which has a height of 900 meters, thus giving birth to both Opunohu and Cook Bays. We find Mounts Tohivia, 1,207 meters, Moaroa at 880 meters, and the summit of Mauapu at 762 meters, known as the Shark's Tooth. Its extraordinary mountains are pierced by numerous cavities. According to the legend, a certain number of grottos contain funerary canoes, the coffins of Maori princes. Moaputa, the Pierce Mountain, the summit of which reaches the height of 830 meters, is no doubt the most fascinating of these. Visible from several miles away, this peak has given birth to many a legend.
At the end of the day, Hiro and his band of thieves came ashore on Emil. They tied up Mount Rotui with long lengths of creeper plants in order to make off with it back to the island of Raiatea under the cover of darkness. Scared by these thieves, a young girl ran to her canoe in order to go and inform Pe, the god who owned the mountains. Furious of being woken up from his slumber, the giant god grabbed a burning beam-like piece of wood that he cast in the direction of Moorea. Making an enormous noise, the lance pierced the mountain, causing the thieves to flee in fright. They all jumped into the water, abandoning Mount Rotui behind Opunohu and Cook Bays. Above all, Moorea is 60 kilometers of a paradise-like coastline, bordering an immense lagoon protected from the breakers by a coral reef. In the early hours of the morning, let's take a trip around the island by boat. Before the trade winds arise, the lagoon is like a mirror and the trip magnificent. This trip inside the lagoon is interrupted at the eastern point where the reef touches the island. This coastal plain harbors the lake at Tim'e. In Moorea, the lagoon is exceptionally limpid. Water from the sea enters the lagoon after having surged violently against the reef. This great mass of pure water, full of oxygen, invigorating by the breakers, imparts life to the fauna and flora of the inner lagoon. Thanks to the principle of connected vessels and the effects of the tide, water is sucked out and returned to the deep sea through the passes. Moorea has 12 passes that have formed in the extension of the streams coming down the valleys. These cut through the island, even through its underwater relief. The deep bays of Opunohu and Cook cut into the island of Moorea. Several million years from now, the island will have fully sunk into the sea. Then, only the coral reef will remain. The latter keeps moving up to the surface thanks to the constant development of coral polyps. These living organisms unceasingly rebuild the reef. Therefore, the island will become one more atoll of the Society archipelago. The island of Moorea has a treasure that originated in the very beginning of time: petroglyphs, patterns engraved by the hand of man. The most recent ones were discovered in the highlands above Maharepa and have been referenced by the Archaeology Department of the Polynesian Center of Human Sciences. In some ways, these petroglyphs are photographs of a period in time between 600 and 1000 BC. These sculpted stone pictures bear a fundamental testimony to the landscape and activities of the first Polynesians.
In ancient times, there was a marae in Papitoy at the place where the Protestant church stands. They destroyed the marae and threw the large tiki sculptures into the sea. As a tribute to this story, I have placed my own sculptures into the ocean.